Welcome to another episode of the Lone Recruiter Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Clemenson. If you're a recruiter out on your own or just lacking general advice or mentorship, you've come to the right place. Now, it is 2024, very first episode for the year, so welcome back. We're really pumped to bring you way more content, more guests, and you know what? Last year was a huge success, so let's make 2024 another huge success. I'm going to start very obviously with planning out the year. You've probably done your plans, but this is going to be the simplest way to plan your desk. You're going to actually pinch yourself and go, how did I not think of that myself? Why am I not doing it this way? You probably get a sense from my episodes that it is about really simple strategies. I think people can overcomplicate things, and when you overcomplicate things, your brain can't get their head around it, and you get lost in it, and it actually becomes not really much help, but actually more just confusion and hindrance, and that's not what we're here for. Recruitment's a really, really, really simple game. We just tend to overcomplicate it a lot. And so what I want to try and bring you today is a really, really simple way to plan out your year, your recruitment desk for the entire year, and land it and bring it right back to the month and every month and how we're going to approach it, because I think you'll be absolutely shocked at how simple this strategy is, but I think you'll absolutely be pumped by how simple it is, because it'll give you like instant clarity. So if you're feeling a bit foggy, or you're not 100% sure, you're second guessing your market, or you haven't got that crystal clear clarity around what that desk or your desk is going to look like this year, or the opposite, you might be completely optimistic about what you're going to do this year. You might have these numbers and whatever, but if you haven't got the appropriate tools to land it to the today, then it's just going to be another pie in the sky number, and same as last year and year before, you've got these lofty figures you never hit. Well, let's fix that. It's actually really simple. So let's get stuck into it. So I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pen, and I'm going to ask you to jot out a couple of quick figures. It's going to be really simple. So let's go. And this episode will be done within 10 minutes, guarantee it. So it's the quickest episode you've ever had. Best free advice you'll ever get. Let's go. So, one, what we want to basically work out is we want to map where do you put your energy? Because once you focus that energy, you put a lot more attention where you know that you're making money. So the first thing I want you to do is actually just write down your desired target for the year. So I'll give you my examples because I think this will always help, but I've put 600 grand. I want to make 600 grand in billings this year. So that's my number. But your number might be different. You don't take that as a benchmark. It's just my figure, right? You might put 400. You might put 200. Everyone's different. You might put 1 million. You might put 2 million. I don't know. It doesn't matter what you put there. It needs to be your number. So let's say we put out a desired annual target. Now what I want you to do is divide that number by your average fee. So you should know your average fee. And if you don't know, that's fine. Just go over the past 12 months and work out what is the average fee you make. So for me, it's $20,000. It's roughly between 18 and 30. So I say 20 because it's nice and rounded, and really I think that's where it sits. So I've taken my annual desired target, 600, and I am dividing that by my average fee of 20. It gives me a number. Now that number for me is 30. 30 placements I need to make this year at my average fee, and that is me hitting my target. Now, why do I distill it down to number of placements a year? Because I think people get intimidated, stressed. It's about the dollar. I had a scientist say this to me once, that you have the best mathematicians in the world, the best data scientists, the best engineers or whatever. But the moment, and they can calculate anything till the day's over, but the moment you put a dollar sign in front of it, they fall apart. And I don't think recruiters are any different, right? It stresses us. Money does funny things to people, whether we're conscious of it or not. So what I like to do is actually go, we need to know what money we want, but let's bring this number down from our annual target, divide it by our average fee, dollar. It'll give us a number. Now this number's going from dollars to placements we need to make. Now I need to make 30 placements. I can control placements. I can't control candidates saying yes or no. I can't control what other people do, but what I can do is control my activities around those 30 placements I need to make this year. So now you have a number which is the annual placements that you need to make. I want you to divide that number by 12. So that will give you how many placements you need to make per month to stay on track for your annual target. And the beauty of this is if you're making your monthly placement numbers and you're slightly behind on the target, you know it should average out over the course of the year. So I only need to make 2.5 placements per month to hit my 600 grand per year. That's actually not that intimidating. I would argue if you are listening to this and you are a recruiter and I asked you, hey, do you think 2.5 placements per month is a tall ask? You would laugh at me and say, no, it's not a tall ask. It's actually not. We all go in thinking we're going to make 4 to 8 placements, and we never do, right? So the purpose of this is going, okay, 2.5 placements per month, I can bloody do that. So now all of a sudden I've got confidence because I'm not worried about the dollar value. I'm worried about what do I need to do this month. So that's the first exercise, right? So if you need to hit pause and go through that, do it. We're going to park those figures. Now what we're going to do is actually put a little bit of meat on that bone, because it's very well and good to say 2.5 placements, let's go. But then where are we going? We go, oh, shit, I'm going to go and do this. I'm going to do that. I want to point you a little bit towards where you're going to make money. Now, how often do you see recruiters say, oh, they're my client. They're my client. That's my client. They're on my client list. They're my client. Let me give you a reality check. A client is someone who pays you a bill, or pays one of your bills. A client is not someone that you speak to. A client is not someone that you want to work with. They're prospective clients, but not clients. There is a massive difference. A client is someone who has paid you money. That is a client. So for this next bit, when I say I want you to write down your top 5 to 8 clients. So who are the top 5 to 8 clients you have that come to mind when you go, they're a good client. They interview, they're easy to work with, they pay my bills. And if you're not sure who those people are, go over the last 12 months, 18 months of placements data and just see who you're making placements with. I did this, as I do every year, and I was shocked at who my number one client was. I did not realize they were my number one client. I thought they were probably 5th or 6th. So it's easy to think you've got clients that are in your top, but are you actually transacting with them? Because it's sometimes, got open door access, but if you're not making money off them, they're not a client, or they're not necessarily your best client. So go through and look at the last 12 months of your placement data, and just not from dollar value, but just an amount of placements that you've done. And all of a sudden you get an idea of, geez, okay, I'm transacting quite a lot with these 5 to 6 clients. They're the ones I want to see you on this client list today. So go through it, go 5, 10, whatever you're comfortable with. I wouldn't go beyond 10. It'll just be too much. You don't need to. I want you to be between 5 to 8 is probably the good amount in terms of who are my key clients for this particular exercise. So go through that, hit pause if you need to. What I want you then to do is think, how many placements this year will I be able to do with these companies? So for example, I've gone through and I've got my 6 or 7 companies there, and first ones, I can do 4 placements with these guys this year. I can do 4 here. I can do that. And I've gone through and done all those numbers, right? So go through that. So this is how many placements do you think you'll be able to do per year? So for example, they're a really good client. Am I going to be able to do 1 per quarter? So 4. Yeah, like that's a pretty fair assumption. So let's go through that exercise. And again, you should start to feel like a little bit of confidence here. And what I want you to do is, once you've done that, is actually, let's break it down further. So once you've got your figures, you've got your first client's 4, the next one's 3, the next one's 3, the next one's 2, the next one's 1, whatever the numbers are, you think, yeah, I want to break them down into quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. So quarter 1's pretty easy, because it's like, do we have active briefs already? And you probably half of them, yes. So let's just go quarter 1. How many am I going to be able to do with my top clients? It might just be a 1 next to all of them. Cool. It might be, quarter 2. I might put 1 in most of them. You get the gist. So break up that annual, how many placements am I going to make with these guys? And break that down into each quarter. How many will I actually place with these guys? What you should get out of that exercise is probably all of the business you need for the entire year. which will blow your mind, because all this full canvassing and attracting new clients, all that sort of stuff, maybe you don't need to do as much of it as you think. Okay, so this whole exercise is about going, we started with what's your annual target, divide it by your average fee, you come up with how many placements I need to make per year, okay? And then we broke that down to how many placements do I need to make per month. Now this second exercise, which is who are my key clients, how many placements do I predict that I'm going to be able to do with them this year? And now I'm actually looking at, and then what does that look like in quarter one? What does that look like in quarter two, and so forth? All of a sudden you should tally at the bottom of quarter one, how many jobs do you think you'll fill with your top clients in quarter one? That's the only thing that matters right now. And if that answer is the amount of placements you need to make per quarter or above based on what that first exercise was, then your job's done. Go and communicate that to your clients. Hey, I've just done my business planning. Last year we had a really good run. We made 4 placements. It was great. This year I anticipate, from what you're telling me and what I see, there's probably another 4 to do with you guys. And I've actually put doing one of those in this quarter. Are we okay with that? Do we have the work? Are you cool to support that? Because that would be really nice to know. If you can't support it, that's fine. We can look at it in quarter 2. I just need to get a bit of clarity around what I'm doing. You can see that all of a sudden, all your conversations with clients are people who pay your bills, are becoming way warmer, way more targeted, way more strategic, and tighter. I think people are surprised by when they actually are that direct with clients about their billings, because we don't really talk like that, how receptive they are to it and how supportive they are of that. Because obviously they're a client for a reason. They like working with you. You give them good people. So that's it. The question you want to ask after all of this is, do I have enough work based on what that exercise just was? Do I have enough work right in front of me today? And if the answer is no, fine. You've probably got some work. So we start there. And then the next thing is like, what are your processes to go and win that work? And that's not what this episode's about. It's actually just going, what am I chasing this year? Break it down into how many placements I need to make. Let's look at our key clients. Let's break that down into what we predict we can make with them. And all of a sudden you have an absolute crystal clear roadmap for 2024. And it's actually as simple as that. If you've got any questions you want to ask around that, if you need a follow-up bit of advice, feel free to reach out and message me. Feel free to give me a call. I'm happy to help. I've done it with all the staff here at Alra. If any of this doesn't make sense, please let me know. Next episode's actually going to be a little bit of a follow-on from this one. I'm going to work through now, how do you land all of that into a monthly framework that you can just fill out, keep your targets in place. What are we tracking? What are we aiming for? And then we can break this down into a strategy and into like, what do we need to do each week? So I'm talking now like, what activities do we need to do project-wise, paving the way for next week's projects, all that sort of stuff. That'll be the next episode I do, and I will be able to give you that framework. So you can take today's episode, get those figures. Next episode, we pull them into a document, and then you've got your North Star for the month and the year, and it hopefully eliminates a lot of anxiety, stress, and question marks around your desk. Okay? So I hope this helps someone. What a cracking first episode for 2024. I hope you got something out of it. Please share, like it, subscribe. We just want to grow. We want to keep growing. The bigger we get, the more we can give you guys. So keep going. I love it. And if anyone is listening to this and they want to be on this podcast, I am inviting. The door is open. I want to hear from you guys. I'd rather talk to you guys who love this stuff than go to people that I know or don't listen to this and invite them onto the show. I'd actually want to talk to you guys because you are the audience. We can all learn from each other. So hit me up, send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. That's all we have time for today. As always, have an amazing day, and may all your 2024 deals come true.